Y'all go ahead and get your hate out. Get all your names you're going to call me and get that out of your system. But for your information, I have been on 9 cruises since 1993. The ones through 2005 were not cheap, but they were very nice cruises. The people that worked the ship were nice. The people that were on the cruise were nice. You didn't go to the dining room dressed like you were going to the pool. There was a certain amount of decorum required. When you got up in the morning, you could go through early in the morning, because I was, you could go through the breakfast and get coffee and a donut. They had a continental breakfast that early. And then go to what's called the Serenity deck, and you could sit there and drink your coffee and enjoy the sun coming up. You couldn't do that on this last cruise because they were still drunk from the night before. And the only place they could find to hide with their goofiness is on the Serenity deck. The people on either side of us in the cabin were ridiculous. Their trash stumbled out into the hallway. And I'm not talking people, I'm talking literal trash. They would go up to the bars, the buffets, and get plates and plates of stuff, and then just pile it on the floor outside their door.
Yeah, if you
See, this is why I don't go on short cruises. If it's not at least $1,000, $1,500 per room for like a week, then I don't go. Any cruise that's like, if you go on the cheapest cruise, especially at like a ratchet port like Miami, or I think it's probably the worst port, probably Miami, because there's a lot of ratchet people, a lot of spring breakers, young people, who go on those cruises. Maybe even the ones that go out of Texas, like Galveston or something. That's a horrible cruise. That's a horrible port. Orlando, maybe a little bit. But matter of fact, I used to fly places. I used to fly out of the country and then get on a cruise. If you get on one of these cruises out of Miami or one of these hot spots and it's like $200 a person, you're gonna really quickly realize you made a bad decision. Especially right now during the summer where everybody's off. When you go on a short cruise, a cheap cruise at night, when it's dinner time, people look like they just got off the beach, man. They come to the dinner table with flip-flops and shorts, and then you sitting there looking at people in flip-flops and shorts, swim trunks. You seeing women with scarves on their head and, house slippers and shit. Those are the cruises you need to stay away from. If it ain't at least $1,000 per person. Sometimes I would go on cruises by myself, and it was like per room. So even if you went by yourself, it was the same price. So there was like, it could be, let's say $500-$600 a person. If you go by yourself, they charge you for that other person. So that it's like per room, they gotta charge you at least $1,200. $1,300, $1,400. And I would gladly pay it because it would be like a week cruise. I go on a cruise for a whole week, go to like 5-6 different countries, and it was dope. But whatever you do, stay the hell away from those cheap cruises. They ratchet as hell. I've never been on one, but I hear about them all the time. I see videos about them all the time. They have a whole genre about ratchet people on cruises. There's a whole AI genre.
Oh. This is going to be a long 7 days, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for me.
There was no class. In the words of my grandfather, they had no couth. The fighting is what amazed me. You're on vacation in parts of the most beautiful parts.
have a pile of trash outside the staff, then you got another thing coming. It's crazy.
There was no class. In the words of my grandfather, they had no couth. The fighting is what amazed me. You're on vacation in parts of the most beautiful part of the world, and all you can do is cuss, scream, and fight. Now, mind you, I met people on this cruise that were from a Baptist church somewhere up near Chicago. There was about 15 of them. I regret to this day not getting their names. I had such a fun time with those people. But I couldn't visit with them because of all the nonsense going on. And it didn't matter where you went on the ship. The nonsense. Now, I watched a lady's video today where she blamed it all on Carnival for dropping the prices. I don't know how much more you could insult your own people. That because they paid an inexpensive fare, that somehow excused them from their stupid actions? No. No. It's not Carnival's fault they lowered prices. It's ill-mannered, classless people. And while there may be a large part of it, one particular race, it is not race exclusive. But what amazed me is you couldn't go to the swimming pool deck, ever. From like 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock at night, you couldn't go. Because it was bad. It was bad. So when I got back, I wrote Carnival a letter, told them I would not be sailing with them again, because I did not enjoy my cruise. People take cruises to relax. They take cruises to have a good time. You go in the bar, have a few drinks, have a lot of fun. You come lay out on the deck by the pool, have a few drinks, enjoy yourself. Have a hamburger. Have whatever you want. But enjoy yourself. You don't enjoy yourself on Carnival anymore.
Well, I've always heard about that. I've heard about people smoking, doing drugs on cruises, fighting. And I ask them every time, I'm like, what cruise was it? They'll say Carnival. I'm like, how many days was it? Oh, just a 2-day cruise. Stay away from the 2-day cruises. Stay away from the 3-day. If it ain't at least 5 to 7 days, do not go on it. Because broke, low life people do not have either the money or they don't have the time. They usually don't have both. You go on a long cruise, it's usually old retired people, digital nomads, people that work from their laptop, people with, with some type of, high paying job, usually people with just money and time. And that's either old people or digital nomads. So whatever you do, man, stay away from ratchet ass cruises.